Hey guys, welcome back to Real Estate Investing Texas. Today we're talking about which real estate brokerage you should work for after you pass your real estate exam. This is a question I see every day in the Facebook groups I'm in that have to do with real estate licensing and preparation for the licensing exam. So I wanted to address it and answer some questions and try to help clear the mud on this question and give some insight as to where I think you should work. Look, there are tons of real estate brokerages out there. You've put in tons of time to be successful in passing your tests and getting your license. So it's important that you're educated on how to make that decision and what points are important to consider when you start going and looking at these brokerages. They're gonna come to you. Look, when you pass your last test before your licensing exam, the course you're using is going to send your information out to brokerages all across the state, and you're going to start getting calls, you're going to start getting letters, and you're going to start getting emails about you going to work for all of these different brokerages and them wanting to interview you. So I'm going to talk to you about what I think the most important things are to consider when these people call and when it's time to go sit down for an interview, and most importantly, when it's time for you to make the decision on where you want to work. Let's get right into it. The two-way interview. Look, you're going to dress for success when you show up to these brokerages to meet their agents and meet the broker, and they're going to ask you the standard interview questions. Greatest strengths, greatest weaknesses, what have you done to prepare for this career? All great things to prepare for. But I want you to remember when you show up to that brokerage that this is a two-way interview. You need to make sure that you're a good fit for working with the team that they've assembled. Different cultures and different personalities don't always mix, and if the kind of culture a brokerage has doesn't fit with what you're looking for, you're never going to be successful working for that brokerage. You have to be comfortable where you're working, and you have to enjoy where you're working. So if you don't enjoy who you're working with and what they stand for and the kind of interactions they have with each other and their clients, you're never going to be successful because you're not going to want to be there representing them every day. And that's okay. If you walk into an interview and you put it in your all and then you decide afterwards that they're not the right fit, there's no harm, no foul. At the very least, you went in and you got some interview practice for the next brokerage, which may be the right one. Another couple things about this two-way interview, make sure you ask questions. The second the broker asks if you have any questions, you should have a list of questions ready so that you can gather as much data about their brokerage as possible. Examples would be, what kind of office hours do they require? What kind of fees do they have? And we'll talk about commission splits and money in a minute, but you want to get that out of the way up front. And then start talking about what markets they serve, specifically what kind of properties they sell. Do they work with investors? Do they work mostly with first-time home buyers? Get an idea of what that brokerage stands for and what kind of culture they have and they facilitate within that company. All right, so we talked about the two-way interview. Now I want to talk about doing due diligence for the company that you're going to be working for. Now, sure, we're doing some due diligence when we walk into that brokerage and do that two-way interview and ask our great questions to find out about the company, but there's some other things we can do to really make sure we're gathering as much info as possible. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to Google the team you're going to be working for or with and the brokerage you're going to be working with, and I want you to see what kind of a reputation they have. I want you to see what reviews they're getting on Google and on Yelp and on any other real estate website, such as the HAR MLS or whatever your local MLS is. And I want you to see what kind of agents they have working for them and if people enjoy working for them. We want to make sure the company you're getting involved in is liked in the area that they're working and that they're getting business. You can also go into the websites and look and see what kind of listings they have and how many listings they have, and then you can look and see how much business they're actually doing. And by gathering this data, you can build a very broad picture into what company you could possibly be working for. All right, now let's talk money, because I know you've been waiting for it. In my opinion, money for your first brokerage, talking about commission splits, is the least important factor you should be concerned about. Don't get me wrong. I understand that you have bills to pay, and I understand that you didn't get in this job to make no money. But there's some very crucial steps to becoming a good real estate agent before you can really go make those big bucks. Successful real estate agents didn't make their first $100,000 overnight. There's a lot of work to do to get to that point. So I do want you to make sure you inquire about all of those commission splits, desk fees, monthly fees to be associated with the name of the brokerage. You need to ask all of those questions, but I want you to understand that those are not important. It's okay to get a 50-50 split on your first few deals, and there's reasons why, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I don't want you to be so focused on money that you pass up great opportunities because one brokerage had a much better split than the other. There are brokerages out there that will offer you 80-20, meaning the broker is going to get 20% of your commission and you're going to get that 80% chunk on day one. They're going to offer you that, but there's probably also fees that go along with that, and you just need to be aware of all of them. So like I said, don't be concerned about the money, and we're going to talk about why on the next slide. All right, here you go. You've made it to the end of the video, and it's finally time for you to hear my number one thing to consider when picking a brokerage. Who would have guessed it's not how much money you're making? In fact, it's the kind of training that you're going to get from your new brokerage. Look, like I said, on day one, coming out of your courses, you are not going to be a successful real estate agent. There's a lot of work that still goes into it. These courses did not teach you how to be great. They taught you about the law. They taught you how to fill out some basic paperwork, but they did not teach you the ins and outs to the real estate buying, selling, leasing process. There's still a lot of training that you need to do to become great, and it's 100% possible. So what I want you to know going into all of your interviews and all of your research is that if the brokerage isn't going to spend some time or resources helping you become great, I don't want you to consider that brokerage. Here's what I said: helping you. They are not going to make you great. They're going to help make you great. They are going to have time, resources, and agents that can help you grow and develop as an agent, but it's still going to take work from you. You have to be willing to go out there and to meet people and to ask for help, but the great brokerages are going to help when you need it, and they're going to develop you to make you great. Because what's the benefit for them? If you become great and make money, they become bigger and make money. So the number one thing I want you to consider when you go into looking for a real estate brokerage to work for is what kind of training and support they are able to offer you as a brand new agent to help make you successful. All right, so there you go. My top tips on how to select the perfect real estate brokerage for you. And keep that in mind. What's perfect for you might not be perfect for someone else. As you ask these questions on the Facebook groups of who's the best real estate brokerage to work for, it's different for everybody. So I want you to consider these factors when you go into these interviews, when you ask these questions, so that you can come out with extremely educated answers on exactly who you think would be the best fit for you. And keep in mind, if you make the wrong decision on your first try, you don't have to stay with that brokerage. You can move on and find somebody that may be a better fit for you. But hopefully going through these priorities that I've brought up today will help prevent you from having to make a change and will help you select the right brokerage on the first try. Look, I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe to this channel so that we can make more videos in the future. If there's a topic you'd like me to talk about on this channel, just go ahead and comment below and I'll add it to our list of videos we have coming up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.